Gentlemen, how are we? Ladies and gentlemen, listeners, welcome to the Leg Up Straight podcast.
Racing in the Stradbroke. Here comes the blood now. Alligator blood on the outside, stormed up and took over. They're the two, they hit the line, and Steffi's won the Stradbroke.
Good intro. I liked it, Nick. We've reached the grand final of winter racing. It's the pinnacle of Queensland racing.
I would go
Straddy.
as far as saying the pinnacle of Australian racing.
I was hoping I'd get that. I was wondering what odds I would have got to get that intro out before you kind of came over the top and said that this is the number one race in Australia.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like Christmas Day for Queenslanders.
Excitement level 1 to 10. 1 being a funeral, 10 being Christmas morning. Where are you?
We're 2 days away, so it's kind of like Christmas Eve at the moment. So let's say an 8, but come Saturday morning, I'll probably be charging through those
10, 11
doors and 10 or 11.
Are you happy about the field?
Look, there's 2 ways to look at it. From an overall quality side of things, I think it's down on previous years. But when you're sitting on a ticket on the $3 favourite at 50 to 1, I'm pretty stoked that it's a bit weak. So I'm more than happy. Yeah, like let them be.
There's just an air of smugness about him.
There is.
With that ticket. So we won't go there just yet, but it's I've got to be honest, I've felt that smugness for a couple of weeks.
It just keeps dropping away, and like when they push the Kingsford Smith back a week, I'm like, oh, War Machine's just at home in his nice warm box, just licking his lips while all those other horses are out there in the pouring rain and
eating every grain, staying warm. Boys, we've had a little bit of a break. How's things? What's happening?
Nothing to report for me.
You've been head down, bum up. Members been going good. Saturdays have been our day.
We've been going okay. We can always go better. Saturdays have been great. Winning
days, which is nice.
Plenty of like value winners as well over the past. I don't know how long it's been since we've done a podcast. Maybe 6 weeks, maybe. But like the Saturday winners have been fat.
How many have we won in the last? We've had a trot of 9. I think we've lost 2 Saturdays.
7 of the last 10 we've won.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's fair.
Average price winner more than $10.
Yeah, Millie DeLune last week.
Go Millie.
She was a good win.
She was good.
$15.
She was good.
So if you want to get involved, make sure you click the link below. Get involved with members, support us. And we'll also put a link in for our Discord, which is pumping.
It is pumping. I haven't looked at the total numbers recently, but I reckon it'd be about 1,600 punters.
Oh, no, I think
there's more than
I think it's like just over
More than
2,000, isn't it?
Yeah, because we worked out that the
members
different
are separate.
categories are
I
there's more
think
than
you're right.
2,000.
Yeah, it has to be.
So there's
I reckon we
lots of
only
winners.
started plugging the Discord on the pod, so it hasn't been that long ago. But we've got a good – if you listen to this and you just love the punting banter, get in the Discord. And there's some good judges in there.
There are a lot of good judges in there.
Teggy had a $10 winner on Sunday, was it?
Yeah, it might have been Sunday. I think
There's a
so.
bloke's just doing their all.
There was a bloke in there yesterday, I think, he might have put a few tips up for Bunbury and went 5 from 5 in the West. Yep.
That's a good effort.
So that was pretty good.
New King of the West.
They were getting around Pikey at one stage yesterday.
Were
I
they?
saw that. Pikey might have had the first winner or something.
Any punters chat
Dunno.
should be getting around Pikey.
Yeah, that's it. And I think like as well, like you sort of, you might be sitting at home and you might be watching a race and you might be thinking, geez, like another 40 to 1 shot. Well, if you're in that group chat, there's 300 people in there at the same time going, fuck me, another 40 to 1 shot. They're all like thinking the exact same thing kind of thing.
I'd also like, I was having a bet at Sha Tin on Sunday and I have 2 punters clubs that I'm a part of and we're always chatting about footy and, like Saturday mainly racing, like nothing really outside of that. And because I was having a bet, I'm like, I can't really chat in my punters club because they're not really betting on these races.
I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, like you are. You're like, so it's like you throw a couple of messages out there, nothing comes back. Lob straight in the Discord. Plenty of love there.
Yeah.
Plenty of people
That's
on
right.
Shark Tin at 10 o'clock at night. It was
Even
horrible.
last night
I nearly
it
got
was
the
going
potty
off.
actually.
Did ya?
Oh, nearly.
Don't you just take Zach in each leg and you're good?
I got good numbers actually last week. If I get good numbers again this week, I'll share them.
Yeah.
Can't say who I'm getting them from, but They're good numbers.
Speaking of not being able to share names and whatnot, and mail, whatever happened to Trot Mail? That has been a missing feature in our group chat for a long
we used
time.
to get the
Trot Mail used to come through all the time.
and my punters club is with him.
Yeah.
And we don't get it.
Trot Mail. Mm-hmm.
Maybe
he
got in trouble for
probably got arrested,
sharing
the Trot Mail bloke.
the Trot Mail.
That could be it.
I think Arnis is the most like where they spread the betting and put messages out like everyone back this thing, and then when it
Cheats on
guts
seats.
in,
That's
what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So plenty going on in Discord. Okay. What have we got? We've got the Straddy this weekend. We've got the JJ Atkins. Next week we've got the Ipswich Cup, and then we've got Tats Tiara.
Yeah.
Is it still called the Tats Tiara? Because I don't think Tattersalls...
Yeah, it is. I don't know what's gone on there. I think definitely this year. I don't know moving forward though, because it was the same with like the whole Archer and like amateur race clubs and whatnot, like Rocky and Cairns Amateurs.
Oh, because they're race clubs that have the floating.
Yeah, so I don't know. I know that's stayed on for another 12 months or so, but I don't know what the future looks like for the Tattersalls Tiara.
Fill me in. What's happened to Tattersalls?
There was something that like Racing Queensland was no longer going to be funding
the
amateur clubs like amateurs and Tattersalls. And so
Tattersalls is classed as its own race club. And then so when it has those days like the Tats Tiara, it's not a BRC race day, it's a Tattersalls race day. And I think they just, in regards to that, I think they just stopped the contract.
Yeah.
BRC is probably sitting there going, we've got a Group 1 day.
Yeah.
We'll just have the takings ourselves.
Yeah.
They're pretty smart operators up there.
Yeah.
I would say that's just a legacy thing that's been around for a while.
They probably just want to get the ticket sales for the 5 people that attend a Group 1 meeting in Queensland.
They're
pumped.
They're pumping up there. More than Sydney. Sydney's only about the Everest.
I walked in on Everest Day and I was like, geez, this is nothing.
This is it. This is like
Why did I come?
That's Tiara Day. Highlight of the, I'm going to say Brisbane Carnival.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet, but so far.
Surely. Well,
I think
obviously we'll review Stradbroke Day, but so far.
I think like Antino's probably been the performance of the carnival, like in the Doomben Cup and the Hollandale, I guess. Like there hasn't been another horse put up a big win in a big Group 1. Like I think the 10,000 and the Kingsford Smith Cup are both sort of rated down a little bit. The Oaks and the Derby last week, both roughies that not many people would have found. But I think like Antino, local winner, big margin kind of thing. He's probably the highlight for me so far.
Any flops? Anything that you thought, futures tickets aside, any flops that you thought, geez, I thought they would be doing more, or?
Giga Kick I thought was probably a bit disappointing on Saturday, but he wasn't like, it wasn't like he was expected to win. I think the weather was almost the flop. Like the moving back the carnival, like moving back that race day, that 1 week, it's kind of made it, it's made the Stradbroke fall away a little bit. Like a few horses have gone, we're only going to do the Kingsford Smith Cup rather than back up 7 days. So that was the disappointing side. But
because Kingsford Smith is the more modern days the lead up.
Yeah.
Before that was like the 10,000.
So the 10,000 used to be. So I can't remember exactly, but like growing up, Blake might remember better, like just because you weren't a 10-year-old like I was. But there was like the BTC Cup, which I think was what the 10,000 is now.
Yeah.
And it might have been 1350.
It was definitely 1350. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't remember where it landed, but yeah.
I think that was 2 weeks before the Stradbroke. So and then that became the Doomben 10,000, went back to 1,200 metres, got moved early, and then the Kingsford Smith Cup came in because there was a.
So they made the BTC Cup 1,200 metres.
Yep.
Yeah,
and there was
like
the QTC
every other
Cup
Group
as well,
1 6-furlong race on the calendar.
Yeah,
it's a good thing to have different Group 1s. Like a Group 1 over 1,350 metres is great. Like you're going to get different horses. You won't get the same horses going around. Not that we got the same horses going around, but it would have been good to see Jolly Star over 1,350 anyway.
Yeah, and have 2 sort of bites of the cherry because I think that was probably the thing is they did that and they brought on the Kingsford Smith Cup still. You're going to have 1,350, 1,300, 1,400. So I think they wanted one a little bit shorter, but they're all sort of, Kingsford Smith Cup and Doomben 10,000. It's 1,200 into 1,300, 2 weeks apart. Wait for age. It's pretty much the same pool. But
to be fair, it's a hard flop because the amount of rain we've had up here only lose half a...
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean like moving that, and like last Saturday I thought was a great day with 3 Group 1s, but it's just disappointing that it was probably that meeting. Like if it was Doomben 10,000 or Doomben Cup meeting from a little bit earlier and they got pushed back a week, then it wouldn't be like...
combine one of these days because there's no like real...
Well, Derby Day used to be on Stradbroke Day.
Right, okay.
And then so I think Oaks Day might have always been on its own, but the Oaks fillies could back up into the Derby if they wanted to. And then they've moved the Derby and made it its sort of own day. And I don't know.
Any standouts from winter for you?
Not particularly. Antino was great. Stamped himself as a genuine Cox Plate horse. So, him and Jolly Star was great too. So
that was a big win.
Those are the two.
Saturday.
That was a big win.
Like they weren't doing that all day there, and
she's good. She's good. Still no standout sprinter in Australia, but that's okay.
No, but I did actually hear that. I think I read that Kaying Rising, like he's locked in for an Everest slot. But I read something that they're talking. It's not just going to be this year, like one and done. Like they're sort of planning that they'll come back the year after as well. So that's exciting.
Why not? David Hayes said on the radios this week that if he comes and does what's expected, they'd be looking to come back.
And I think they're going to run him in the winners' stakes as well after the Everest.
If he
wins the Everest for that big bonus. So because he'd have to go and do the scans again if they went to Melbourne for the Champions Sprint, which they don't want to do. Unless that changes, I think they said. So.
And he also said he's the best horse he's ever trained.
Yeah.
I just feel, and this was a bit of a highlight for me, I was hunting the bookies for all their little promos that they put out on like the horse they push out. So like inflated odds on Jolly Star like last weekend. I just feel like the bookies have had it wrong. We've been able to get them. Yeah, there was one, I think Pride of Jenny was one that I fell into and she was no good.
Yeah.
I don't know what day that was. Was that
I think that
10,000?
I think like they did the QR code for Antino that day.
Oh.
And then Jolly Star.
The tableau of the day or the bookie like inflated odds.
Yeah. I'm praying it's War Machine.
How nice would that be? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, who else could it be? There's no real...
No, it can't. It'll probably be him.
Oof. I might get a ticket the size of yours.
You might.
Maybe.
$3 is short.
It is. Definitely.
Short in a very open race.
Yeah.
And he has no rating figures that suggest that he should be a $3 chance. No. But the market loved him.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We've got a bit to get through. Obviously, very heavily focused on Stradbroke and the weekend ahead. We're going to do JJ Atkins. We're going to do Bet Hold Fold for Stradbroke. I've got a couple of little questions for you around Straddy. But what's your first Stradbroke memory?
Probably the one that like always stands out that I can remember is like sitting in our beach house watching the Stradbroke when I was a kid, and Mr. Baritone won it.
Man of the people, eh? Just down at the family beach house.
Yeah.
And,
but it was Mr. Baritone.
I know. I feel like people aren't going to concentrate on that part.
I went to that Stradbroke.
Did you?
Me and
I was
Hildo.
going to say the beach house. I'm like, so everyone's been to the Lloyd family beach house except me.
Hildo and I went for a hit and run mission. We flew up in the morning and
and
then we flew back in the evening.
Yeah.
Was it
How did that come about?
Jackson Murphy?
Sebastian
Murphy won it as an apprentice.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. When was that? That would have been like 2010, I reckon, or something like that.
No, earlier. I'm thinking like 6 or 7. Or maybe 8. Like, yeah, like
you must have
been
like
right.
a 19 or 20?
Yeah, me and Hildo, we would have been working at the Quakers Inn at that stage.
Yeah. Just shut up for a day.
First class.
Was that your first Stradbroke
that was,
day? Like at the races as well?
That's the only Stradbroke day.
Yeah.
And I remember Sniper's Bullet. I don't know when he would have been either.
It was a couple of years after.
Sniper's would have been one of the... Yeah. One that I remember. Because I think that from memory, Sniper stayed at my old man's place when he was in Sydney, so I knew the horse.
Okay.
Trekking was the first. That was the first race day, like the first Stradbroke day I'd been to was when Trekking won it. A mate and I, we were. He might have been living in the sunny coast, and I was still living in Rocky. And Seven Horse Racing did a giveaway for Stradbroke Day, and it was, you had to tag a mate, like this post, tag a mate in the comments, and in 25 words or less, like why you like going to the races with that person.
Yeah.
And so like he tagged me and was like, oh, we live, 600 kilometers apart now. We don't get a chance to go to the races with each other anymore, and always good to cheer on a few winners and whatnot. And we ended up winning it.
How good's that?
And it was like 2 tickets to I think it was like the Marina bar or something like that, but it was like the $500 pop.
Oh, drinks on. Yeah.
Everything. And so like I had that was on the Tuesday like of Stradbroke week that sort of got announced. So like I was working at the pub, the roster was already out. I'm like ringing the boss. I'm like, hey, I've won these tickets. Like any chance I can have the Saturday off? I was
How
like,
old were you?
I think I was 18.
First time in the big smoke, like get to Brisbane.
No,
Like the
we
country
probably did
house?
like
What's that?
yeah. I reckon I did
taxi.
Magic Round a little bit before, yeah. Uber, what? Yeah,
What's this?
so
Why
that
is
was
my
good.
phone just working? That's
Yeah.
just internet.
Just looking back at the race,
Yeah,
do you remember Adam, the horse?
No.
He used to run. I reckon he used to run second to Sunline a fair bit.
yeah, right.
He come up and won a Stradbroke. Landsiding in 2000, that was Noel Mayfield Smith. Do you remember Show a Heart?
Yeah.
He was a great horse.
That was a big
He had
win,
the
that
big
too.
baldy
Yeah.
face. Private Steer, I reckon that would have been Bossy.
Yep, and
Thorn
John O'Shea.
Park.
Yeah,
Private Steer, she won. I reckon she won a Doncaster after that
think
as well.
so, yeah.
Thorn Park
Where was Ballamontana?
might have been Bossy again. La Montana.
Yeah,
I reckon that was Corey Brown's first
yeah, actually,
winner, first Group
First
1
Group
winner.
Yep, I think St Basil would have been around
St
that
Basil
time, yeah.
2005 was the year before La Montana. Sniper's Bullet, Mr. Baritone was 2008, and then Black Piranha won it twice for Con Carrots and Bananas,
Yeah,
who had trains Allegro Miss, who we tipped
Yes.
at $23 or whatever it was.
correct.
Con carrots and bananas.
Yeah, he was a good horse. Black Piranha.
Yeah.
What a horse. What a horse.
Interestingly, when I was having a look at like the history of winners, not a lot of trainers have dominated this race.
No,
I mean, he had 2 back to
Yeah.
back same horse, but I think
Mike Moroney would have had 2. He would have had Mr. Baritone and Tefane.
he had
Yeah, that would be right.
Yeah, unless he had some in the 90s, but I don't know if he.
just the recent winners, like
Yeah.
obviously back in the day.
Gay
Bart
won it with
Cummings
All
won
Our
like
Mob.
4 and all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
just I was surprised not bigger modern trainers have got a
Yeah,
couple of
I
wins
suppose,
against
like,
their name.
Yeah, handicap up here as well.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
in,
you'd always have one. You could sit there and go, "Oh, that could be a Stradbroke horse." Like,
Yeah.
the-
I'm
you've got
doing
that
that
many coming through.
24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
Stradbroke horse.
What do we think's the best horse to win the Stradbroke?
Well, we'll get to that, Blake.
Actually, I've got something set up for Nick. It's a bracket system. So, like, you do your NBA brackets.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 past Stradbroke winners. You got to choose one, and then they move into the next bracket.
Okay.
I'm going to go 4. So it's like quarterfinals, semi, grand final. Okay.
Grand final. All right.
All right.
You couldn't say, I would go through and say, not many champions have won it.
No.
Rough Habit.
Yeah.
There's been some great horses win it. I don't know. Was All Our Mob? He was a very good horse.
Yeah.
He wasn't a champion. I don't know. Not many champions have won it, but I guess that's because it's a handicap. But that being said, like, champions win Doncasters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you know what I was trying to allude to before the show as well was when we did the punt club. We had $120,000 in the pot. That was Stradbroke Day.
Yeah, it was. But it wasn't, I don't think it was Alligator Blood Day.
Wasn't it?
No way. Nah, it wasn't.
Who won the Stradbroke that year then? Have you got him in front of you?
Oh, maybe it was.
I
don't
thought it
know.
was alligator blood. Like I'm certain it was alligator blood.
Maybe it was.
I mean, we had like, was it He's a Bolter? Pikey rode a winner early.
She's a Bolter.
She's a Bolter.
She won the JJ that year.
That year. Well, that was like our first win for that punters club. So we had a ton of people in here.
It was. You're right.
Yeah,
It was
we had a
alligator
ton of
blood.
people in that
I
punters
do.
club. We had
Yeah,
a $120,000 pot. We were so nervous.
Yeah.
We live streamed the whole thing. Facebook cut us off halfway through the stream because we were like singing like R. Kelly songs and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I reckon. What do you say? She's a Bolter,
Yeah.
Pikey,
Yeah.
and then Pat pulled us out of darkness.
That was a great, like, that was probably the first Stradbroke day I reckon I had on track, like, when I'd moved down. Like,
Yeah, okay.
And I don't think we were all on, I reckon Charmy Baby won the Wayne Wilson in the first, and I was tipping her at like $10. And then we were all on Tracy Bartley's horse, that Kiss Some in the Gun Sin. So he won.
Yeah.
So like early
Yeah,
on, it
Kiss
was
Some,
just
yeah.
a bit of a fill up. And then, yeah, like none of us were on She's a Bolter. But then I know Moz, I think he got the trifecta or the first four in the Stradbroke and backed Alligator Blood. And we were like up on like we're in like the SEN track tent kind of thing. And I had one little tab there. And Moz had the cash bet. And like it took the tab bloke until the next race to come back with the cash to pay Moz out. And he's doing it. And then New Marion won the Q22. And,
Yeah.
you know, Pat Welsh, that like the Channel 7
Yeah,
Sports, me and Pat were standing there watching the Q22. And New Marion was like 20-1. And we were both on him. And like, it was just silence. But me and Pat, like, go Tommy Berry, go Tommy.
bizarre.
And it's won. Like, the whole day, it was just
That's
an
a fill-up.
absolute fill up. But Alligator Blood was, like, I wasn't on him, but lots of people on course
Yeah.
were on him. Like,
Yeah, it was- I
a
think,
very
like,
popular result at the
It was
track.
very hard for us to win that day. Like, you've got to win. You got to have big bets. You've
Yeah.
got to win. We only bet on like the main races, maybe some in Melbourne, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think for the 120,000, I think we got back like 96.
Yeah, that's a good
And it was
result.
like, I think it was like $25 buy-ins.
Yeah,
so like,
right.
so like people got like $18 of their 20,
Yeah.
but they watched the live stream all day. They got to follow the bets. It was,
Have the- yeah.
it was
And they're
very
probably,
well
like,
received.
if you're thinking like if they're only spending $25, like there's a fair chance they're betting more than that on the
Yeah,
day, and they're probably
exactly.
following and having
Yeah.
the bets themselves, kind of thing. So
All right, Stradbroke bracket for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you two horses. Tell me who proceeds to the next round. Sniper's Bullet, Rough Habit.
Rough Habit,
Black Piranha, Tofane.
Black Piranha,
Okay.
double champ,
Alligator Blood, Under the Louvre.
Alligator Blood.
Oh, I thought you were going to be a...
I reckon I backed Under the Louvre, and so like personally probably Under the Louvre, but Alligator Blood was a better win than
Alligator Blood was a much better horse.
much better
too.
horse. Yeah,
Is
but
that,
if we're just talking
are we
Stradbroke.
talking criteria?
Stradbroke.
Stradbroke,
Just the
wins.
Stradbroke win, not that how
just
good the horse
Stradbroke
was.
win.
Okay.
It's a Stradbroke bracket. Think about it, Steffi Magnetica.
I'm going Steffi.
Oh, it had to be Steffi.
Yeah, it had to be Steffi.
Okay. Rough Habit, Black Piranha.
Rough Habit.
Alligator Blood, Steffi Magnetica. This is a hard one.
I'm going Steffi again. Sorry, Alligator Blood fans.
Well, you'd said you didn't
Yeah.
back Alligator Blood.
Was
there's
Rough
gotta be
Habit the
some
horse that
pot
never
there.
won at Doomben?
I think, was it Chief De Beers? I always get them mixed up.
All right, final. Rough Habit, Steffi Magnetica.
As good as Steffi was to my pocket, Rough Habit's the best Stradbroke winner.
There you go. It's tough.
It is
I think you
tough.
did well there.
Yeah, you could have a few different outcomes, I think, like if you went even further back. But yeah, Rough Habit, he's the champ.
He
They
did
were in
win at
half for you
Doomben,
too.
so it must have been Chief De Beers.
Yeah.
I
I reckon he only won at Doomben, Chief De Beers. Didn't win at Eagle Farm,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Rough Habit won a.
He won like Hollandale Doomben Cup, then went back and won a Stradbroke. I
He won a
reckon.
4X Cup. That must have been a Doomben Cup back in the day.
the Forex Cup.
And It's like 4X. I don't know what that is.
We mean 4Xs?
No,
Or
no, no.
four-
Like
like
four.
the 4.
4EX.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
that's like foreign
4X.
exchange.
Foreign exchange.
FOREX?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's foreign exchange.
Is Turvey on the inside of Rechabite. Barossa Boy pulled to the outside and coming wide too is Meg's Ego in the straight, and he said, let's go on Scalacci. He's moved up and he's hit the front. 250 metres to go. Scalacci's the leader. Barossa Boy is chasing him on the outside and he's looming as a big danger. Scalacci's in front, joined by Barossa Boy. Barossa Boy's hit the lead. Look at Rough Habit. Rough Habit's flying on the rails. Rough Habit moved up, grabbed the lead, and he's won the Stradbroke. What a performance. Rough Habit first, Barossa Boy second.
If you're obviously only listening to this on podcast format, but do yourself a favour and
Watch it.
go back and watch that replay. And that, if you're thinking, even if you didn't know who Rough Habit was when we did that bracket, that
That's the
replay,
race to
that's
go.
the reason why Rough Habit is the best Stradbroke winner of all time, because that win was freakish.
It is such a good race. It is such a good race.
Yeah.
Shalaki was in there.
Who?
It was Scalacci. I did a show once and I thought it
I
was
remember
the
that.
Shalaki Stakes or something like that. It's still, maybe once a month
That'd
I'll
be a
cop
great
comment or
racehorse name, Shalaki.
Shalaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rough Habit though. Wowee. Stradbroke is a great day. I cannot wait. And we're about to get into it, but it is the jewel of the crown, Queensland racing, winter racing. We'll leave it at there. But it is one of the top tier Group 1s.
Yeah.
Now listen, we're going to do bet, hold, fold, runner by runner. We're going to move through it fairly quickly. I'm going to give you 3 runners at a time. Mm-hmm. You can just pull out or fold them all or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave the emergencies in there because Firestorm is out. So first emergency's in.
Yep. So
plus
Coleman's
there's money
already in.
for...
Yeah.
So Coleman's in.
Yep.
And there's actually money for Transatlantic, who is now first emergency, right?
Yeah, he needs one more to come out.
Yeah, okay. All right. 2025 Stradbroke, Pier, Waterford, Coleman.
Fold, fold, fold.
Fold, fold, fold. Punch Lane, Payline, Yellow Brick.
Fold, Punch Lane, fold, Yellow Brick. I'm going to back Payline. I think he's the best roughie in the race.
You liked him in it was a Kingsford Smith
Smith.
week 1. So it was
Yeah.
version 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was super in the Doomben 10,000, like cutting back to the inside and flashing home at weight for age as well. Like he was big odds that day. But that was the same race that, Steffi Magnetica sort of did the same thing 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And now he drops from, that weight for age down to 53 kilos. So drawn perfect in 7. He's just going to let the speed unfold. He needs a quiet ride to probably run out a strong 1400 because that's the big unknown for him. But speed's on and he's got a really good turn of foot. So $46, I think that's a stupid price.
Walk me through why we're folding Punch Lane.
I just think he's a bit of a wet tracker. If it
What
was,
are we going to have? We're going to have a soft track, aren't we?
no, it'd be a good 3, be a good 4.
I thought we got some rain tomorrow, are we?
I don't think so. Do we? Has it changed?
Why did you ask about Punch Lane?
I think that he's the best roughie. If he had a drew a gate, the draw's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But if they're serious, which they will be, they're going to spear him out and try to lead at a solid tempo and
Yeah.
run him into the ground. And that's what he did in 2 wins prior to that Eagle Farm run last start, where they gave him no hope. He began well and they snagged him back. He was wide without cover and he was just
He
working
definitely
through
wasn't there to
He was
win.
given no hope. He wasn't there to win. So the draw is awful.
If he drew better and we had if it does rain and it's a soft 5 or a soft 6, then yeah, I can see him being in there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I think probably he does like it wet.
Yeah.
He likes it wet, but his 2 peak performances this preparation have been on soft 6 and a heavy 8 surface.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had an opportunity to produce a
true.
good peak run on a dry track. It's not like he's he wasn't performing on dry tracks, and then he did perform on a very heavy surface. Like prior to that, his career peak was on a soft 5 surface. So it still has the sting out, but I don't think he's not capable of producing a big run.
Yeah.
Even on a good 4 track.
Yeah.
He'll be happy.
He's a very good 40 to 1 chance.
60 to 1.
60 to 1. Very good 60 to 1 chance.
Spicy martini, far too easy. Robusto.
I'm folding all 3. Spicy Martini's a nice filly, but I don't think that's the right race.
Warney, Desert Lightning, and Transatlantic. Swim emergencies in there.
If Warney got in the field, I could have something on him. He was terrific the other day.
I think everyone should have something on Warney if he gets into the field.
Yeah.
He was great.
He was terrific.
He was very good first up.
He could be a moral in the eyeliner next Saturday if they don't get a run.
He's not going to get in.
No.
He's not going to get in. But he was that run last start said, back me next time wherever I go.
Yeah.
Over 1,400 metres, draws perfectly. I don't know who they put on if they do get a run, but 51 kilos on his back, he could definitely blouse him.
Yeah, for sure.
And his peak run last preparation was third up.
Third up.
And it produced a rating that is very similar to that of the last start win in War Machine.
There you go. War
Knee.
Machine. You can merge them.
Yeah.
Yep. Desert Lightning, no. I think he's a miler. And who was the other one? Transatlantic.
Yeah.
He's scary. I wouldn't be backing him myself, but like if he came out and he won and if he gets in the field, like I'm not falling off my chair. But he's a bit of a stiff sort of story for old TJ Golan, because this could be 3 years in a row he'll have a horse that beaten as favourite in the Gateway, which is ballot exempt, into the Stradbroke, and then miss out on a run in the Stradbroke and run in the Wayne Wilson on Stradbroke Day and win. So Antino, Freedom Rally, they've both been beaten Gateway favourites, missed out on runs in Stradbrokes and won the Wayne Wilson on Saturday. And he's $2.20 in the Wayne Wilson this weekend.
Out.
So
He could be the rollover.
could be.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Queensland rollover.
Thanks for the heads up.
That's the day. Bazasto, front page, the Inflictor.
Fold Bazasto, fold front page, fold the Inflictor, because I'm just sick with the Inflictor. Like, how did he get beat in a benchmark 65 at Ipswich when we tipped him one day? Now he's popping up in a Stradbroke.
There's a lot of spite. There's a lot of spite involved. Sometimes falls into your form.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bazasto's a little bit smelly. I know we had the rollover bet on him.
I just don't know if he's beaten anything when I went back through it.
Well, he might not have.
No.
But I think potentially Annabelle said that because that race got moved back, he sort of missed a gallop, and she's just going to put a pen through that. Like, he was disappointing there because he was backed as if he was unbeatable.
And had every possible.
He had every chance, but he's a horse that has mixed his form in the past, and like, it wouldn't surprise me to see him like produce a big effort here, be right in the finish, hit back.
Rothfire, the Instructor, Private Eye.
I'm folding Rothfire. I'm folding Private Eye. I'm just holding with the Instructor because last Saturday it was very leaderish at Eagle Farm. And he's the only horse that's beaten War Machine this preparation, and he gets a kilo swing on him for that. He is, War Machine was first up that day and was luckless, and the Instructor was second up there, coming off a first up romp at Moonee Valley. But like, he's probably drawn the best of the go forward horses, so he's probably going to do the least amount of work out of them. Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott, like, they've won this race before. They sort of know what it takes. And he just keeps raising the bar. I never thought he was any good, but he's won 7 from 17 now, and he's flying this prep. So if the track happens to be really on speed favoured and horses are struggling to make up ground, I could see myself having something on him late.
Why are you folding Private Eye?
First up.
You can't win a Stradbroke first up. No. Even Joe Pride.
Yep.
Okay.
57 kilos.
Well, you should have won a Stradbroke with 57 kilos.
Should have.
3 years ago.
Yep.
He should have beat Alligator Blood.
Yeah, it wasn't
clearly.
first up there, though.
No, he wasn't. And I don't think it was the plan to be first up. But
No.
if somebody can do it, it's Joe Pride. And, yep, wouldn't surprise me.
I just reckon I know he won.
He's clearly the best horse in the race.
For sure. I know he won 2 starts ago,
He
but
probably should have won an Everest.
yeah, I'm still sick of
1,400 metres is
Yeah.
probably his pet distance.
Is he at his best?
Well,
I know he won 2 starts ago, but that was November. And I know he's had 4 trials in between, and
Has he had a setback or he just?
no, I think they've just
no, because he didn't want to back him up into the race.
they were going to
Because
run
they
him in the Kingsford Smith Cup and be second
okay.
up, but he's a victim of that. So
He's a very good.
yeah,
I'm not just going to say he's a very good horse. He's a very good $16 chance. I'll tell you that.
yeah, probably.
Very good. If he produces his best, he wins.
Yeah,
Not even his best. His best in the last 12 months, he wins.
in the last 12 months. Fold.
Kamochi, Rise at Dawn, Golden Mile.
They're all hopes. I'm going to fold Rise at Dawn. I
Yep.
went back through it. He was one that I was a bit scared of early on. And then the more I go back, his wins, he beat Aztec Ruler at Flemington. He beat a few other horses that aren't really A-graders.
Yeah.
And then, he was only beaten 4 lengths in the All-Star Mile, but he had his chance. And then that Doncaster, everyone's going, oh, well, he's just run 4th in a Doncaster, beaten half a length. Well, he had 51 kilos. He drew barrier 2. They absolutely crawled. He had every possible chance. I think that's just been a little bit inflated. And I thought he was a bit poor in the Kingsford Smith Cup on Saturday. I know that was first up off a freshen. He'll get a nice run in transit, but I'm going to fold him. Kamochi, I'm going to hold. I think she's a hope. Whether or not this is her race, she might be more Tats Tiara winner, when they go back against their own sex in a fortnight. And Golden Mile, I think the market's right. He's my second pick. He was terrific, both of his last 2. So that Victory Stakes run where he got a long way back at big odds and flashed home. And his tick over trial was really good back in Sydney. And then last start at Weight for Age, 59 kilos, he sort of sat up outside the leader in a race that suited him, but he was only beaten narrowly by Jolly Star and Zarastro. And now he's a big sort of weight horse. He drops to 53.5 kilos. Barrier 2 is perfect. So I think he can definitely win.
Kamochi, for the punters that like her, she was 5th up when she won the Sir Rupert Clarke over 1,400 metres. She's 5th up into this race over 1,400 metres.
Very
I
similar
definitely
setup. They've just
wouldn't be putting the pen through her, so she'll be going in my quaddie. And I agree with Golden Mile. He was very good last start, and he can win. He's very well suited in a handicap over this trip.
Yeah. He was you mentioned Allegro Miss earlier. That was my multi. Allegro Miss that day all up Golden Mile in the
So you're on him at
220 to 1. So
Was this one of the bets you couldn't? No, I'm thinking of another one. Maybe the bookmaker that played Silly Buggers. I thought that was a Stradbroke second leg. Anyway,
I don't know. Well, I actually went to after this was on Victory Stakes Day when he ran 3rd, and he was always one that was on my radar for the Stradbroke. But his first, he was 12 months off. He was retired, went to stud, and was a dud. So he came back into work, and his first 2 runs back were poor.
yeah,
And so I was sort of I need to see him do something before I back him in a Stradbroke. And then that day in that Victory Stakes where he was 40 to 1 and made up a ton of ground from the back, and then I'm scrambling to get on, and I backed the wrong horse. I backed Golden Boom rather than Golden Mile at 50 to 1, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then the price went off on me before I could back Golden Mile. So then Blake had members tip coming up, Allegro Miss, and I'm like, I'll just have Allegro Miss all up Golden Mile. And Allegro Miss won at $19 or something like that. So I was like, boom, got him.
so fat. So that's going to be a good day for you, I think.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Let's get into this favourite.
War Machine.
War Machine.
AC/DC
Machine.
song, War Machine.
Is it?
War Machine. Yeah, I didn't know it.
I never heard it.
No, I don't
Out of
either
all the
until
AC/DC songs.
Can we play War Machine?
Yeah.
Surely. Where are we? I'll just skip to the chorus a bit.
He had that loaded pretty quickly, eh?
I'd been listening to it.
Someone's been listening to this on repeat.
So
It sounds like AC/DC, but it's not one I've ever heard
I
of.
assume that's who the horse is named after.
Of course, yes.
He's been perfect. He's been faultless. Like, it's been the perfect Stradbroke prep War Machine. He was very unlucky not to win first up at Mornington. He was held up for a few strides. Sort of race shape was against him. The track bias even was a bit against him. And then he went to, I think it was a Caulfield benchmark 100, and he just sort of stalked a really hot speed and trounced them. Jimmy the Bear was a good closer in that race. He's come out and won since in open company, so that form's sort of been franked. He was well backed that day, and then he came up to Brisbane in the BRC Sprint, backed as if unbeatable, landed perfect, like got the perfect run, another good solid tempo, and he won pulling away with his head on his chest. So I think barrier 13 is not a problem for me. There's speed drawn outside him. He's going to be able to ride a good sort of solid tempo. Tim Clark goes on board. He's won the race before. He rode Alligator Blood. He might not. I know Blake's probably going to mention that he doesn't have the ratings to win it, but I just think he's just the progressive on the up. He comes through that Golden Eagle in the spring, which was the hottest form race of the 21st century, just about. How many Group 1 winners have come out of that? Like that's a cheat code in this spring in the Golden Eagle. Just black book every single horse that runs and back to wherever they go in the autumn. But he was really good in that race too. So I think he'll be too good. $3.20. Yeah, it's short for a Stradbroke favourite. Like, I don't even think about it was this short, and he had won 6 or 7 in a row in a Kingsford Smith Cup the start prior. But I don't think that this is a vintage Stradbroke. I think he's going to be too good. I think he's a proper horse.
I reckon we're going to see
Wow,
the
machine.
first where early speed leaders. We're going to get a story set up very early, I reckon, because who comes across from those wider barriers, and the wide barriers aren't an issue.
No,
8 of the past 12 Stradbroke winners have been from double-digit barriers.
Yeah,
and the past 6 have jumped from 8 or wider, so it's not.
there you go.
Yeah, so there's 10 there from 8 or more, 8 or wider, the last 20. So
and Tim Clark's a very good. Like, he rides a lot for Waterhouse and Bod and knows how to put a horse into a race. So,
and is that where you think War Machine's going to go? Just try and
I don't think
cross,
he'll
get
lead.
out?
No, like you're going to have like. There's a few horses that I think they'll need the last 400 to be downhill to run out 1400.
Don't mention Rothfire. Not yet.
Front Page is one of them. He's going to go forward. I don't know, like the Instructor, he could even be a little bit of a 1400 query. I think last start, that was 1300 at Scone, but that was a really sort of leaderish day. Like, I know I've made a little bit of a case for him, but he probably is a genuine 1400 meter query, the Instructor. So there's a couple that they might even not go as fast as they usually will, and then you're going to have Spicy Martini, Rise at Dawn will use their low gates. Golden Mile will be handy. I think if War Machine's within 4 or 5 lengths of him, like in the first 6 or 7, I think he's going to be hard to hold out.
Punch Lane has good early speed. Is that
Yeah,
right?
well, he's another one,
So
drawn
he'll try and
21,
lead.
that's going to go forward. Like,
Yeah.
So I
There's
think
going to be a
they'll
lot of
stretch out a
traffic
bit
early
and-
from those wider barriers too.
Yeah.
Punch Lane coming across. Rothfire, I
Rothfire
think,
will go forward.
outside of War Machine or 2 outside of War Machine.
Yeah, he's out there
come
in the cheap
across.
seats. Yeah. It's a pretty even start, the 1400 at Eagle Farm. You've got the whole back straight, so it's not like they're straight into a first turn or anything like that. Like, I think I'm not worried for War Machine backers, like in terms of where he gets to. I think he's in the first 6 or 7.
Yeah. He can win. He's a good horse.
Yeah.
Market loved him last start.
They're all over him.
Smashed him.
Was that the Jimmy the Bear race? Oh, no, there was one before that.
They loved him
Was
that
the
day
wee-
too. That was
yeah.
at Caulfield, but the BRC Sprint was when they just kept. I think, did he start
250 or something?
250?
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what the market does with him on Saturday. He's a horse that the bookies have got to take him on. He's too short.
Yeah.
He can win.
Yeah.
He can win. He's on an upward rating spiral. The market suggested that he was going to go to that figure last start. He could bounce off that figure again and definitely win the race. But yeah, $3.10. Short.
Sure.
Does that mean he's holding up? You know, you use the term like taking up too much of the market? Like, because I just see a lot of hopes, like good hopes in this race at really good odds.
Yeah, well, taking up too much of the market would be a correct statement.
What who, like, from a ratings point of view, like, who are the horses that you would expect to see, like, firm up? Like, if the punters are listening and they're thinking that, like Private Eye or Rothfire, like they're around that $16, $17, like, are they the kind of horses that
I think Golden Mile could start shorter.
Yeah.
The instructor brings in the best last start figure, but I think that I think that's an inflated figure.
Flattered by that
I
track.
think that was definitely an on-speed race because Winchat.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Winchat sat outside him and those two fought out the finish, but that was an on-pace dominator race, and it was a day that was dominated by the inside lane. So, I think that's a really inflated figure. Front Page and Rothfire both bring in good figures, but do I really think that they could win? Probably not. Warney brings in a good last start figure that he could bounce off, so he's a horse that I would elevate. The horse that I'll be having something on is Rachel's Ride, Punch Lane.
Yeah.
I just think that he was given no hope last start. I could potentially declare him at 40-1 if he had a Drew Gate.
Yeah. I would be a little bit disappointed because I had a futures ticket on him in the race 12 months ago, and they didn't, like, they were way too far down the order. And then we backed him in the Glass House, which he bolted in. But like, sort of like, he was on my radar last year. The old mental health bet.
I'll have something
comes
on.
out.
Punch Lane would be your tip in this Stradbroke?
Yeah, I'll tip Punch Lane. Yeah, I'll have him on top. Yeah.
Trying to get some info out of Hilda this morning and nothing. I like the like.
Just tell them, handle bars down.
You shoot Rachel some riding instructions.
Bars down. Just lead.
HPD.
At all costs.
Go for it.
Yeah.
That's
Very
it.
good.
Yep.
Run
We'll see.
Timmy Clark.
They don't have any other option, so.
No. Speed on speed out wide. Quick and the dead.
I cannot believe that neither of you are giving the thriller from Chinchilla a hope. J-Mac on board for Rothfire. If
One
that
winner.
doesn't put lead in your pencil, then snap it off.
Does nothing for me.
That's exciting.
Yeah, look,
was
they're
great.
a good bunch of owners and...
Okay, cool. All
I'd like
right,
to see
props
it.
to the
It would be a
owners.
fairy tale.
It is.
I think
This
it's
is
cool.
a fairy tale race. I'm telling you, Stradbroke's one of those races.
Yeah.
One of those standout races that can have that fairy tale finish. And he was huge in the Doomben 10,000. Prove it if there is a bit of sting out of the track. Probably leans in his favour a bit more.
Probably these days, like, he's getting a bit older. The joints are a little bit tighter and stiffer, you know. Like
Small setback with the foot, but I don't know what I think that was an infection rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Hoof abscess.
Yeah,
Lovely.
I believe so. So
He's good. Could be.
well, he's got to pass the vet, I think, today.
I thought that
Was
was,
it
yesterday morning.
yesterday?
Yeah,
And he
yesterday morning. I'm
Passed
pretty sure.
with flying colours, did he?
Yeah, it's fine. Apparently,
There you
it broke
Yeah.
on Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go.
So
he galloped
they must
Tuesday morning.
need to break.
He was
I think it broke before the gallop.
yeah, right. He was at breakfast with the stars, so Rothy.
Yeah, I think.
I hope he runs well.
Yeah, I hope so.
He always
too.
has run well in this race. Like, this might be his third crack at it. Fourth, even.
I think third.
Maybe third.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to get a good showing. Look, I understand J-Mac probably didn't have a lot of rides to choose from.
To be fair, Rothfire was the horse that J-Mac had to beat on Sunshine in Paris in that Doomben 10,000.
Yeah.
Like, he was sort of glowing of how tough Rothfire was
Yeah,
like,
right.
in his post-race, like talking about the horse that he had to beat. So, you know, like, you can see why he might have gone, oh, that's a horse that I want to get on, because he knows what Sunshine in Paris
And look,
is.
the heavyweight is against. I have
Yeah,
figures on the weight.
So he ran second in it last year and third in it the year before.
there you go.
So he'll run well.
Yeah.
The barrier's just
He drew wide in it last year, I think, or one of them he drew wide in it.
right. Okay.
Yeah. But there was less speed those times too.
Like I said, weight against, but
Might just play out perfectly. Just might be able to get a card over, find one off the fence. It wouldn't surprise me with J-Mac on.
and he's never won a Stradbroke.
No.
Imagine like out of all the races he's won around the world, if that's the one that's burning him.
Yeah.
If he I need to.
And you get him
My
like
career
high
will
in the
never
eyes.
ever be.
Head in his palm as he crosses the line doing these ones, and he gets back and Emma Friedman's interviewing him and he's just crying.
This
going,
is the one,
Emma,
Emma. This was the one.
I've tried so hard for years to win a Stradbroke. You know, this just means the world to me.
Yeah. People
I
would
can
know
remember
this.
as a young Kiwi watching Rough Habit win this race when I was 4 years
Stands
old.
up in the saddle in Rothfire. Imagine that. Oh, I got leg
You got
goosebumps.
chills.
Yeah,
just
imagine
then.
that. Stand up in the saddle, Rothfire.
Yeah.
Points to sky. I don't know why.
And
like
he's
just-
screaming, Thriller!
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
They'll have a J-Mac statue in Chinchilla if that's the case.
probably.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of fun. I also don't mind Kimochi. I just think there's so much value. There's probably a couple of bets to be had there.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm looking forward to having a like little trifecta first four, same race multi.
what I'll do is I'll have a same race multi
Okay.
with,
Our 3 top picks.
yeah, I'll go our 2 top 4. We'll go yours top 3.
He's drawn 16 and 18, so he's actually
Oh, so
drawn
he's-
better this year.
What did he
So
draw?
this is a good-
14, 15,
14.
14. Yeah. Wow.
Stars are aligning.
Yeah.
I reckon I've got Blake on board a little bit.
Um,
Could have a couple of shekels on it.
oh no, he's drawn 16. Sorry, 16.
Yeah, I thought it was
But he'll come
17,
in. He'll come in a few.
There you
So,
go.
but no, he'll run well. He'll run well.
Yeah.
Rothfire Day, I call it.
Rothfire Day.
Yeah, that's what Saturday is now.
So have we been through all the horses now?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well that's good.
You're
Nick.
happy about that?
Would you rather on Saturday
Yeah.
This game can get out of hand.
tip 8 from 9 winners at Eagle Farm, but the one you miss is the Stradbroke, or go 1 from 9 and tip the Stradbroke winner?
Stradbroke. He'll say Stradbroke because
Well, 'cause he's tickets.
he's going to tip War Machine.
Yeah, like I think this year,
his
like
pocket.
where I've got like a few really good tickets on a few live hopes, like
Yeah.
I'll be pretty devastated if I don't get it. Oh, not devastated.
No,
I'll be disappointed like if I don't find the winner. Like, so yeah, I'll say go 1 from 9 and find the Straddy winner because it's the one race you like. All my form has been directed at for the last.
Yeah, I feel like
Few
that would be
months.
your answer every year. To
Yeah.
be fair.
Yeah, that year, for instance, like when Alligator Blood won it, like I didn't
Yeah.
tip him, but my last job, like, and I was doing like the Eagle Farm previews, like I tipped 6 winners that day.
Yeah.
and I didn't tip the Stradbroke winner, but like I wasn't like super keen on anything in the Stradbroke either. So like that was a fill up and like pretty stoked.
Weird for you not having really anything super keen. You feel like
Yeah, I reckon
everything-
I might have been on like Valana, and I think it was Valana, and then like sort of Steph Thornton was booked, he drew wide, and then like the whole way he was just like 5 wide the trip, and I was just like, well, then he can't win. So yeah, like that was good, like tipping 6 winners on a day, but like I think this year, give me the Stradbroke. Last
Yeah.
year, give me the Stradbroke when it was Steffi. Like
Steffi-
it's a tough race to win, like to find the winner in. Like it's
What
not-
price was Steffi? 20s?
I think she started $17 around about. Like
It's great. I was overseas last year for Hildo's wedding, and Steph with Björn, Steffi
Yeah.
won, and Allegron won the
Brisbane
Cup.
He's
and
there back to-
they
going back to back
owners,
this
the
year.
owners were with us at the wedding and all that, so
Yeah.
it was a big day. We actually drank in England's smallest pub. It's called the Turf Tavern. If you ever look it up,
there you go.
and Björn's a little bit taller than me, and I
Yeah.
I could barely get in there. It was
Right.
that small. So Steffi, great memories. So
Yeah, God bless her.
2 sleeps to Rothfire Day, I suppose. War Machine, Punch Lane. I'm going to
He'll
back all 3 of those, to be honest with
He'll
you.
be on the floor if Rothfire
I will
wins.
be on the floor.
That's good, though. That's good
I'll be
content.
having a mental health week.
That's all right. Take it off. All right, so that is our Straddy preview. We will have the podcast Same Race Multi up on Punters HQ. So if you haven't, head over to Punters HQ. It's our new website where we have early preview, all in betting, preview earlier in the week, a couple of free tips, just anywhere to find kind of the potty, just everything in the one place. But it's got an area where you compare the bookies promos, which is not something you can do at a lot of places, but you can go in there on a Saturday morning or a Wednesday morning, compare what promos are up, who you want to have a bet with, things like that. What we're trying to do is create a space that this is the place you check before you have a bet. Not only on race day, but every day. So you can kind of just get that little leg up on the bookies as well. So tips and plenty there. So exciting. JJ Atkins.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting race this year because that key lead up, the BRC Sires, was run in driving rain a fortnight ago, and there was a few flops and a few forgive runs, I think. Cool Archie, obviously your favourite. He's won, I think, 4 in a row. He's won the first 2 legs of the Brisbane 2-year-old Triple Crown, the Champagne and the Spirit of Boom. So he'll be trying to go make it, win the Triple Crown, I guess.
I didn't know there was a
Triple
Crown.
I think they kind of call it the Brisbane 2-year-old Triple Crown. Like, it's those 3 races that are.
You would have been well aware of it.
It's not. It's not the Triple Crown. It's as such, but it's a.
They talk about the Triple Crowns throughout the world. And it's like, don't forget the 2-year-old winner, Triple Crown.
This is one that
Brisbane.
pops up. Yeah.
I'm going to you first. Come on, give us a tip. I like Cool Archie. I like the face.
You like him?
Yeah.
Yep.
He was great last time.
He's going to be hard to beat. He was very good in that size, but he started $8 or $9 there, and a lot of the key sort of fancies didn't really love the conditions. I think Blake
it was a heavy 10 that day.
Yeah.
He's going to be the lay of the day, isn't he?
Strode
I
out.
think, I can't see him starting favourite. Yeah.
And the fact that Sam likes him, that's a little bit of more incentive for them to push him out.
Yeah.
You're not going to make him the layer. That doesn't matter.
No.
How last day's later that day?
I don't want to talk about it. I got the market bang on, actually.
I would be surprised if Cool Archie's not the tab lay of the day.
What price is $4? No, they like
$3.60.
Didn't that work in my favour then? If it's the tab lay of the day,
then he's a moral.
Yeah, he's a moral.
Just take the tote.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't. I like it, but that 3 lengths and kind of growing that length, that margin on a heavy 10.
Winning form is good form.
Yeah, I just don't know if it transfers.
He keeps winning. Aerodrome, I thought, was really good in that race. He started a lot shorter. He's double figures. Probably the one out of that race that I'd be most keen to follow was Matt Dunn's horse, Talk to Be Sure. He's 20-1. He produced second fastest last 8, 6, 4, and 2 of the race. He got a long way back, made a long, wide sort of run, and I thought he hit the line really well. He's going to be better suited at the mile, dry track. Mark Zara goes on board, so he's one that I think can improve. He's a maiden. He's yet to win one, but he's got a lot of raw ability, so wouldn't shock me to see a horse like him. But the one I'll be cheering is Hidden Achievement for Chris Waller, J-Mac, and the old emerald green and white colours of Yulong. Been on him for a little while now at some good overs, and I just thought his runs have been really good in Sydney, and he's going to relish a dry track. Blinkers go on, gets J-Mac, gets to the mile, big track suits. So I think he's probably the one that might start favourite.
BJ.
I think Aerodrome is a really good bet. If you're ever going to forgive a horse for their last start effort, it would be that run. Yeah. That was run in atrocious conditions, and the meeting was called off straight after. So,
was that the last race before the meeting was called off?
Yeah, take that race with an absolute grain of salt. The horses that started shortest in the market in that race were Grafter Burners and Aerodrome. I'm going to back them both. Grafter Burners. I like the fact that after that Inglis Millennium, which has been a strong form race, Rivellino and Within the Law, they said straight after that, JJ horse. Yeah. JJ horse. So eyes on the prize. This is the target. So we're expecting a peak run from him. Draws perfectly. Williams in the saddle.
Yep. So Sweet is flying.
Sweet as flying.
Sweet
and then Aerodrome, he was the Spruik horse leading into that run. He was never on the track. He was he was just wheels were spinning on the corner. He was okay through the line.
And his wheels even spun a little bit at Hawkesbury when he won too. He was just better than them that day.
I think he'll be better on top of the ground. I think they just spear him out, put him on speed, and he'll hit back hard. So $13 about him. That's a good price.
Yeah.
Aerodrome, and a little bit on Grafter Burners.
Both make them both winners.
I like the name Grafter Burners. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a good name.
They're from Grafton?
No, it's by Graf.
Okay.
It is a good name. I like it too.
Well done.
Turn on the grafted burners.
Yeah, it's a lot to be left there with the late call.
Yeah. Yeah, I give them both big hopes.
Both in the top 4?
I'd say so, actually, yeah. I'd probably those two, and then the two that I said, Hidden Achievement and
Talk to be sure.
I'll leave Coolachi out of the numbers.
What about Regulated
Cool,
Affair?
Archie's
Would you
been
reckon
Talk
that
to Big Sure
they're
on
probably
that.
not going to go there, are they?
I don't know. I've got a ticket on
weird.
him for $15 and he's 31, so you probably win.
Who's this, sorry?
But I think he's only
Regulated
$31 because I don't think that he's going to go there. It seems that they're just pushing him because
We're going to scratch
the
him
money
anyway.
suggests that he's not there.
Yeah, I think so. And I had a quick look at that race in Sydney, and I thought pretty winnable for him.
And it's not the Wallace setup, 12 to 1,600
No.
metres, but I'd prefer to see him there because I also have a futures ticket on him.
At
So,
$15 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all doing
Hey,
futures
you could do a
tickets
runner
together.
if Hidden Achievement wins on me. My bet's it's in your account.
Oh, it is too.
Yeah.
So when have I backed this thing?
Yeah.
At
Oh,
good
what's all
odds.
this money in my account for? I'll just make sure you're in the office on Saturday.
I forgot. That's that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's that one. Bring it on. Go Hidden Achievement.
Beautiful. 2 Group 1s. BJ, have you got a best bet for us, assuming not in Brisbane, but anywhere else for the weekend? Or a
Sorry,
bet?
you've really sprung this on me. I know Nick asked me, but I forgot. So, yes, I
Sprung
do.
it on you
That was
because I
my
got
best
told. Nick's just not telling he's telling each other different stories.
Race 9 at Rosehill, number 7, Quantum Cat. I think that we can be very forgiving of him last start. So he had the race shape against second up, behind all the way winner in Jamboree. And then last start, the market really adored him late. I just don't think that he was all that well suited on a very fast tempo on that testing track, getting to 2,000 metres third up off a slow tempo previously. He didn't shirk his task. There was, 60 lengths from first to last, and he was beaten 3.5 lengths. So he's gone okay. I think this is his peak performance back onto a dry track. In form apprentice in Jace McMurray takes 3 kilos off his back. I just think that he can get into that 3 wide line, blend into the race and go crunch at about $14.
Why
I think
is he
that's a good
$14?
price. I think it's a great price. I don't know. I couldn't.
Like, didn't he start like
He started
370 or something?
370 last start.
And they just kept backing him from Wednesday? Like,
He was heavily supported
Yeah.
that day, and the market really wanted to be with
Yeah.
him late. So I think that he might have been about $4.60, $4.80, $5
like
in
race
the morning,
morning,
and really well supported late in the trade. So the market wanted to be with him. Half Yours is the current favourite.
yeah.
That was a big win
Yeah.
last start, but can he reproduce that huge career peak? I know that he was a gap between runs there. But it was a great ride by Dylan and did that exaggerate that margin. So
Yeah. Is there another import in that race as well? In the like one of Gay's maybe? Did I have a look at that? Assailant or-
Blanchland?
Maybe.
Assailant.
Yeah, is that race or
Yeah,
something?
that's that race.
That's an import as well. Maybe. that-
Assailant. Yeah, Assailant was they backed it first up at Canterbury
in the Hell to Pay race.
in the Hell to Pay
Yeah.
race. Yes. And he was okay.
Yeah.
Probably potential to improve getting out in trip, but yep.
Yeah.
I think Quantum Cat's great odds.
Yeah, it seems I had to double check yesterday when you sent that through, like the $14. I was like, is that right? Like considering the last start.
Go the
SP.
cat.
Go the cat.
And Big Mac on board.
Yeah. Our man.
I've
We
actually
found him.
I've tipped him in.
Do people know this?
I don't know, but they should. Surely. Our man J-Mac.
He might not have moved to Sydney if he didn't have the support of the leg up.
I would probably argue that.
We were the first ones to
First?
put him on the radar.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'm saying
100%.
we did. Yeah.
100%. He just sit in the corner of the podcast, remember?
Yep. We should have had him
hope he-
on.
imagine
Campo
that.
out, J-Mac in.
Bit of energy. Liven up.
I've tipped him to ride
Double.
2 winners on Saturday at least. So
Oh,
yeah.
here we go.
Jason McMurray.
Yeah.
He'll be the J-Mac of Sydney.
Can you bet on the Apprentice Premiership? I don't think you can.
I don't think so.
Next year.
Prentice is going to be in the Jockey Challenge, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
can he J-Mac to beat J-Mac.
No, Jackie Chan's Sydney.
Sydney, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
This Saturday.
I meant premiership.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. No, I was
saying
Jackie
next year's premiership. Mm.
Oh, he's getting his rides. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That was it. Nice Stradbroke special edition. Fired up, Beach.
I am fired up.
I can see it.
It's different this year.
Your aura is just glowing, Blake.
I am
After
fired
speaking, like that's all it takes. An hour talking about the Stradbroke. Like all the punters listening to the Stradbroke for an hour, like they're going to be driving home.
This is it. This will fire them up.
Like, fired right up.
And if
That's
you
why
actually
I'm-
watch this back on YouTube, you'll see where the spark is
Yeah.
lit, and it's when I start talking about Rothfire, and he says
Yeah.
actually all those little pieces are falling into place.
be,
I'm
yeah.
excited for Saturday.
Yeah.
Punchline out the window.
PL out, R in.
Good luck, boys, this weekend. Good luck, punters. Have a great Stradbroke weekend, and we'll see you next week, I believe.
There you go.
Little short one. Why not?
Ipswich Cup Day.
Let's do it. Ipswich Cup Day.
We're going to be on the infield at Ipswich on Cup Day.
No, I heard it's rough as guts. I don't feel like fighting. All right, punters. See you later.
See you, punters.
All right.
Hooroo.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.